Hey everyone! So today I am going to be talking about two things that I love very much and are very similar but very different at the same time. This is books and fanfiction. The reason I wanted to talk about this was because I have been reading fanfiction since I was 12 years old, so it's been 8 years. And I have been reading books since I was about 5. So it's been 15 years, and they're both very, very important to me, but for very different reasons. And it's strange because there's one common factor in both of them, which is my love of reading. And obviously, my love of reading transcends all of this, and it's the reason why I got into fanfiction and books in the first place. Obviously, I love fanfiction. I have 2 blogs dedicated to fanfiction, Fanfiction Guide and Every Coffee Shop AU, and I've written a little bit of fanfiction, and I've written fanfiction of fanfiction, fun times, and I really love it, but more and more it's feeling like a guilty pleasure than something that I enjoy and I should enjoy. While with books, which I love, and I'm trying to write one, and it's difficult and wonderful at the same time, with books, I feel like whenever I buy a book or whenever I look to read a book, there's so much pressure to find a good book and for it to be worth my time, while with fan-fiction, it's like, oh, I can read whatever and I can close out of it and find another one in an instant and it's all good. I don't know if I just put that pressure on myself or what, but it's definitely there and I definitely feel it. I've been book shopping a lot lately, and it's weird because obviously there's money involved and you want to spend your money on something good and you want to spend your money on something that will be time well spent. While with fanfiction, it's a lot more reading things, trying them out, and then seeing if I, want to recommend them or not, since I run wrecking blogs. I guess I did start fanfiction as like a guilty pleasure sort of thing, while reading was something I felt like I could talk about with more people than I could talk about fanfiction. But I've tried to make it a goal of mine to make none of my pleasures guilty. I'm always proud to like what I like and to openly enjoy the things that I enjoy, because otherwise I'd be inundated with so much guilt and like shame, and it's just all so unnecessary to life, So it's weird to think that I am shaming myself a little bit by not, lifting fanfiction up to the same level as books. It's a weird relationship, books and fanfiction, and sometimes it collides, like with 50 Shades of Grey. Like, first of all, let me tell you, I'm not a fan of 50 Shades of Grey for the various reasons that people have talked about for ages. I'm not a fan of it. I refuse to spend my money on it. But when 50 Shades of Grey came out, I felt the need to defend fanfiction so much, even though half of what I read is crap like that. The other half is amazing, amazing content made by people who love what they're doing and who, spend so much time and energy doing something that they get no money from, they get no monetary reward from, but they still do it, and it's pretty amazing. That's what I felt the need to defend. I was like, not all fanfiction is like this. I've read better fanfiction in that same genre, and I felt the need to defend it so much. And meanwhile, a lot of people didn't even realize that I read fanfiction so much, and I do, believe me, I read fanfiction all the time. It's a problem. I didn't realize how close it was to my heart until that came out, and until I felt the need to defend my community. I didn't really feel like I was part of the community, because even though I read it all the time, I didn't write it. I only have like 4 fics or something. And I wasn't one of those popular fanfictioners, which, is kind of the same relationship I have with YouTube, but whatever. My relationship with fanfiction has become a big part of my life that I don't talk about as much, and the minute I started talking about it, people like gave me the side eye and were like, wait, you read fanfiction? Like, do you have a life sort of thing? And yes, I do have a life. I have an awesome life, and be jealous of it. Meanwhile, with books were something I could brag about. Like, I've read so many books. I am so amazing for reading and having been a bookworm my entire life. Like, that was something I was really, really proud of, and I'm still really proud of it, quite frankly. I'm really proud of the fact that from a young age I've been a bookworm and I've loved to read and I've just found amazing books. But it's just like, it's so weird that one half of my reading life is something to be ashamed of, and one half of my reading life is something to be extremely proud of, and something I attribute a lot of my intelligence to. Meanwhile, I've read fanfiction that is A, longer than most novels, B, better written than some novels I've read, and C, written by people who are so passionate about it. And there's this energy in fanfiction that is just so amazing to see, and I think it's because, you know, it's for fun. It's just people who love what they do and want to do it, and it's really sad to see that shamed a lot of the time. It's really depressing, quite frankly. And I feel bad when I make fun of it also, because I feel this need to defend that community, because it is so amazing at times, even though it is a lot of the times, you know, 13-year-olds that write PLZ, RD, my fic, I suck at summaries, blah blah blah. We've all read and written those fanfics, let's be real. But there are just so many wonderful things about fanfiction that I feel like I can't talk about in public, which is weird. And another thing is that I don't even talk about my reading habits with books that often in public, because most of the people that I, you know, talk to and work with don't want to talk books all the time, and quite frankly, neither do I. And I feel like the siren is never gonna stop. It's a weird dilemma I have, because on the one hand, I hardly even talk about books in the first place to most people, because I have other interests outside of books, and I, you know, while it is a defining part of my life, it's not something I talk about. It's just strange, because I mean, while I don't talk about it, everybody knows that I'm a bookworm and I love to read. Everybody knows that, and everybody, you know, if they want to read, they come to me for book recommendations and stuff. And it's a defining part of my life that everybody who knows me well already knows. While fanfiction, even the people who know me well don't necessarily know that. Or it's only something that I talk to with certain friends and not others, because, like, I know which friends will get it versus which friends won't. And it's so strange. It's a very strange thing, because while I don't actively keep parts of my life hidden, I do kind of keep parts of my life hidden to certain people, and I don't want that to continue as much. I don't feel like that's a good use of my time, speaking of time well spent, because I do read quality things on a variety of devices. And another thing, when I read fanfiction, I read it on my laptop, but when I read books, I generally read physical books because I prefer them. I think, like, that separation kind of makes, like, a separation in my brain, you know? Only, like, non-published people are the people I'm gonna read on my computer on a screen, while only people who are published and have gone through that are going to be in book form. And I think that separation, well, it's kind of good for me to separate. It's not a good distinction to make for all fanfictioners, because so many of them are just amazing writers and deserve the kind of recognition that, you know, people who write books have. So yeah, I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in on that topic, because it's a part of my life that's very important, even though I don't talk about it that much. Although I did talk about it on this channel. In Veg in 2013, I made 2 videos talking about my top 10 favorite fanfics, and you can go check that out. I will leave a link in the description, as well as the link to fanfictionguide.tumblr.com if you want fanfiction recommendations. And check out every coffee shop AU if you like coffee shop AUs. Okay, so I will see you guys next time then. Bye!